Hi all, welcome to another chess24 Banter Blitz. Okay, before we get onto the challenges, let's have a look at the discount code screen. So, the discount code screen, you can have 15% off with the voucher code Kingscrusher. So you might want to check that out. Kings plural, Crusher. So whopping 15% off. You can challenge me or any other streamer, IMs, GMs, and you just turn up 15 minutes beforehand, send your challenge off. It goes into our challenge list. Then we can pick off the challenges. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to pick off the first challenge today, which is from Kaz. Hi Kaz, morning. Okay, I hope audio is okay. And let's play maybe c4 to start off with. So b6, huh? Hypermodern treatment. b6. I'll stop bishop b4. I don't want any Nimzo-Indian stuff. Okay, so we got a sort of Dutch defense. It looks as though d4, d5 could be a lot of fun. For example, ed knight d4 using the pin on this diagonal. So I'm going to play this disruptive d5 here. So ed knight d4, or maybe even cd is possible. This looks very structurally positive in my view. And I have played this with white a lot, b3, bishop b2, and that's what I worry with sometimes, that opponents, they play that. Let's go for the f5 pawn, so give the opportunity for c6 to play knight takes f5. Okay, that wasn't taken up. Now there might be d6 takes, d takes. Inserting d takes is naughty, hitting the rook and winning a piece. I think that's just been allowed. So bishop takes, d takes. This will be with check, taking the rook. With check, okay, I can fianchetto my queen as well. So I think I've just won a piece there from that transaction. Ah, thanks for the game, Kaz. Thanks for the game. Okay, oh. Okay, old ZG. Morning. Okay, a Sicilian defense. Let's play a Sicilian defense here. So I'll go into the Najdorf, the most exciting variation of the Sicilian defense, in my view. But there's no open Sicilian in this game. So it's c3 instead. Okay, so cd and d5. Oh, this would be good for d4 potentially, but the bishop's got some escape squares at the moment. So b6, bishop b7. Or do I bother with a6? Maybe I'll try for a5. So, okay. Well, I could have played b5 anyway. So I've got this idea that bishop b7, queen c7. Nothing too wild in this game. No h-pawn attack just yet. Nothing too wild. In fact, my centre of attention at the moment is more about the central squares and what I can do with them. Maybe I'm neglecting a6 here. Is that a concern? Queen a4, there's b5. Right, I'll go with d5 now. Maybe knight takes is nice. Keep that bishop viewing this diagonal. Bishop's viewing that diagonal. Okay, so there's naughty stuff going on with d4 and trying to checkmate me on h7, I see. I think I'll take this anyway and kick this knight immediately. before d4 and queen h7, because I'm thinking the dark squares have been slightly compromised by this bishop g5 move. So if I can step into that dark square, the f4 square, then something with my bishop and g2 should be good, shouldn't it? In fact, there's b5 and rook d3 on the cards. I've just noticed the knight is hitting g2 and d3, so I just need to nudge this bishop, and I could take on d3 after b5. Bishop moves, rook takes d3. Let's say g3. Well, then a lot of fun to be had there, surely. Okay, I'll nudge anyway, and maybe just double a line against d3, double the rooks here. So I'm going to double the rooks here. I'm not too worried about a sack on e6 at the moment. Now there is takes on g2, which I think actually is looking like an idea. Well, there's knight takes d3. Yeah, maybe that's better actually, forking the rooks. In fact, for safety, it would be nice to play c4. Just, mind you, there is this diagonal for the bishop to go to. In fact, bishop b1 is a move, isn't it? Let's say takes, check, king f8, check, king. Maybe the king survives on e7, but it's a bit of hassle. Well, here I can take on e1 first before doing anything, because I'm hitting the queen. Then I could take on e6. Or in fact, there's also queen c6 hitting g2. Maybe this is even stronger. In fact, there's also rook takes d2. So, yeah, there's a few options. Alright, rook takes d2. Maybe if the queen... Okay, it's not careful. I wonder about bishop c8, just to get the queens off. Okay, thanks for the game. Right. As I missed. Again, let's go with the English opening. It looked okay in the first game. So knight c3. Knight's coming to e2 soon. So this setup, I don't want to reduce the visibility of the bishop on the diagonal, so I'm putting the knight here just to make sure that diagonal is the bishop's looking down that diagonal, keeping things in check a bit, so to speak. Now I could play for d4. On any bishop g4 there might be f3. I think there's the possibility of d5 and e4, and we sort of get a Vincetto Kingscrusher defense coming up, which I think is quite nice. And then say h3, bishop e3. I could look forward to c5, because especially with a6, if I have a bishop on e3, let's say that allows knight g4. So let's say h3, bishop e3 to stop knight g4. Then there's c5. Even if b6, there's b4. Now, okay, f5 is a plan. It is a plan. Maybe I can lock down f4 and wait for g5 to be able to play e takes. So this is an idea that I read about many years back, that in the Kingscrusher, every Russian schoolboy knows in the Kingscrusher that a knight on e4 is strong. So, but to get a knight on e4, I don't want it to be kicked by a pawn, and to achieve that, I wait for g5 and then just play e takes and then knight e4. So let's do this as though I'm going to play for c5, but I'm actually waiting for g5 here to be able to play e takes and then knight e4. It's very naughty stuff, isn't it, positionally? So it looks as though I was playing for c5, but actually I just wanted this e4 square. Now, what's the point of having a knight on e4, you might ask? Why would that be good? It's a good question. There is some proof needed that this knight is good. It does actually support the thematic c5 anyway, from e4. It can be reinforced. If I ever played g4, the problem is that sometimes maybe a knight can come into f4. So say I played g4, knight c3, a knight could come in to f4. Let's c5, there's bishop b5, but is that a problem? I don't think that's a problem, actually. It would, in some ways, it might be desirable to stop bishop f5, but using a pawn is a bit committal. If I use the knight just to reinforce it on bishop f5, to not give any maneuver to f4 for the moment, I can get a pin here. Now this infiltration to the 7th and the pin is very handy. I can win a pawn here, and I think I will. Now, this is a tactical liability. It is an unprotected piece, so there could be some tactics here, potentially. There's another possibility of queen a7 in some variations. If that rook wasn't on a7, then there'd be good pressure on that 7th rank immediately. Oh, another possibility, this d6 is a bit vulnerable. So say queen a3, how would black defend d6 here? Okay, so queen a3 looks good in this position to look at d6. So that's another point of the knight on e4. As every Russian schoolboy knows, the knight on e4 against the Kingscrusher. So it looks as though knight takes d6 is on the cards. So let's say knight f6, knight takes d6. Is there a pin with bishop f8? Well, I'm hitting the rook though, so I think that's safe enough at the moment, hitting the rook. The queen's also protected by the pawn on b2 in any case. I'll take this rook. In fact, I can take with the knight here, but I'll take with... Okay, thanks to the game, as I missed. Graph. Again, let's stick with the English opening for a moment. It's been good luck today. I think I'll play d4. I'll put the queen here for bishop g5 and rook d1. Bishop h6 might be a bit double-edged because I'm weakening my dark squares as well if I play bishop h6. Sometimes it's desirable to get rid of this for attacking perspective. But there's another perspective here. Bishop g5 kind of ties down the knight, actually, to e7 a bit. So say I want to intensify the pressure in the centre with rook d1, rook c1 and c5. It could be useful also sometimes to take on f6. So I'm reserving this possibility. So rook fd1, this looks like a very comfortable position at the moment. The queen is holding c4, so I'll do this as though c5 might be an issue. But also knight d5, yes, because the back to e7 story, knight d5 could be annoying, potentially, to try and win e7. Now, can I afford b3 here? I'm hoping I can. Oh, there is a tactical idea, knight g4. Oh no, don't tell me. Okay, there is knight e4, but it's not exactly what I wanted. An exchange sack. Otherwise I'm losing the knight on c3. Okay, we got into chaos now. But if he loses that bishop, okay, e7 and the dark squares around this king, I hope a compensation. On f5 there's h3. So let's say bishop a1, rook a1, start calculating f5, h3. Okay, there's a thing with f6, so he plays f6 himself. h3, knight e5. Okay. Oh, right, there's queen f2 there. This wasn't exactly the plan. Is there compensation? I'll try taking on e7 at least. I think if the queens came off, bishop d6 looks okay. Or does it? Maybe bishop takes d6 immediately. Otherwise he's on e2. Oh. Rook e2, bishop d6. Okay, I'm on that rook. Rook f8, bishop f4. Okay. There's queen h3. It could simplify the position. g4, g5, g4. These are controlling f8. g5 for g4. Which gives queen g3. stop e2 at least. King h3 to unpin. It simplifies my king, comes to the pawn just in time, I hope. Oh, okay, he's got 15 seconds enough for the draw. Is that a bit panicky? Do I dare risk pushing this? Is there any move which avoids rook f3? Is there any move which avoids rook f3? There's king h2, rook f3, queen e5, but unfortunately there's rook h3 check, and then I get mated ingloriously. So the draw off is pretty generous, I think. I think the draw off is pretty generous, given that. Queen, yeah. Although, no, I think, I think the draw. Hang on, queen h2. There is a possibility of playing bishop g3 there. Rook f1, b4. Is coming in with rook f1 and queening. So this looks as though I should accept this. Although is there nothing else? Doesn't look like I can get the bishop out of the way. There's ways of getting mated with queen h1 on taking queen h1. I think there's too many ways of getting mated, actually. There's too many ways of getting mated. Well played. I can't play on the 15 seconds. There's no way I can play on the... It's too much of a risk. You got me in that. So queen b6, very tactical. I underestimated queen b6. I lost control totally after knight g4. Oh, this is very quick tempo in this game. Okay, so knight e5. This looks as though it's something to do h5. So knight b6 is threatened. Just get out of the way of knight b6. Where does the knight go? Right, can I play b5? Is that f4? f4 seems annoying. b5, f4, knight c6, c takes knight d4 is check. Got to sort out this. What about f5 then? That gives me this retreat anyway. Try and get another pawn towards the centre. That looks slightly loosening this position. Could I play knight f6 to try and play knight e4? I should unpin here. Even before unpinning now, this is a concern. Can I just unpin my king? There's a check on h4. Okay, that's problematic. I'll go here to protect the knight. And then maybe, how would I unpin? There is queen c6 looking at g2 potentially, but the knight on e3 holds g2. There is king f7, there's knight g5. King h8, I remain in this pin. Okay, so there's no easy way to get out of this pin for the moment. I could maybe king h8, rook g7 is unpinning. Oh, that looks like a tremendous move, which I've missed. My queen e4 though, hang on, hold on. Holds e6 for a moment, hits e3. But after rook e1, he's threatening knight f5. I'm going to end up having to do a queen sack at this rate. I could play king h7 with the idea of rook g7. Possibly queen g2 to get the queens off. Oh, that hits the rook after, and then I could take the knight. Maybe knight f5, queen g2. So he would take... Okay, queen g2 could be handy in the circumstance. I think there is e5 hitting the knight with the rook potentially. So it takes I'm hitting the knight, and thankfully the knight's holding f5, so maybe I don't lose a pawn immediately. Alright, so oh, there's knight f4 check now. I'll throw in this check first though. Alright, I can play for king f7, I think. Right. Now infiltrate. Maybe knight f3 and rook g1. And this is anything better to do than knight f3. Knight d3. Takes. That looks dangerous. Rook f2. d2. I think this looks dangerous. Even if he took on f5, I think I'm threatening rook g1 and queening. Alright, Right, thanks for the game there. Yeah, exciting. Thought it was a bit of trouble there. Okay. This row. If I throw in h4 as a surprise, try and look at these light squares for a bit. Although my d4 is vulnerable. I've kind of blocked the position. Yeah, this could be mostly harmless. Maybe that pawn is mostly harmless. Although f4 might be interesting. I just shielded my own pressure, potential pressure with that pawn. Or can I play f4? f4? Does f4 actually do anything? Looks a bit anti-positional. Yeah, I'm just giving up the e5 square. If I play f4, I'm just weakening my e5 even further. However, I don't think I've got an abundance of plans at the moment. Rook h4, knight f5, rook g4, or there's knight takes f5 first, protects the rook, and there's e takes. I'll play rook g4 there. Knight takes, queen takes, he's got knight c2 check after. So if I go back with the original idea, rook h4, knight f5 takes to protect the rook, e takes, and just drop the rook back, I've kind of doubled his pawns. That might be better because I've also weakened d5. So I'll go with this anyway. Knight f5, knight takes, e takes, just bring the rook back. So not taking here because of knight takes, queen takes, knight c2, forking queen and king. So I just want to play knight takes, e takes, weakening d5. It's a modest thing about weakening d5 really, here on knight f5. And so I'm miscalculating this. So I'm waiting for knight f5. So I'll be double attacking my rook. I play knight takes, protecting the rook. Okay, I just want to bring the rook back. Well, I have to after e takes. I could play g3, but there's knight f3 check. So I think I have to bring the rook back. But mission accomplished, weaken d5. Any g3, yeah, this knight f3 is a pain. Right, can I try and do this? Sort of. Has he got a major attack or not? If b5, I think I would take, and then knight takes b5. And that would look at his queen. Is there knight d5 here? Knight d5, would that be useful? It might be. So I'm hitting his queen. If I played bishop takes, remember from Leela games, if you give up bishop, you look forward to the other colour. Is there anything to look forward to on the other colour? There might be. With EF. Well, I could get horrible pawns in the centre. Probably better is G3 and then bishop G2. You know what? I'm going to do that. So bishop G2 to avoid getting completely diced pawn chain. There is the potential for F5. Do I take with the C pawn? Maybe I'll take with the C pawn. So bishop D3. Well, the light squares are a bit alight. There's still rook H4. Back to this G4. I think I still have rook H4. He's got bishop F6. This rook H4 is with check now. So rook H4 here. Check and then G6. Rook G6. There's also F5 to think about for Queen H6. But the immediate thing is Rook G6, get a form pawn, F5, Queen G5. In fact, instead of taking the Rook, F5 might be stronger for Queen H6, because I'm cutting escape squares here, I don't want to waste that. And there's Queen A5 here, check, King G7. Queen A5 might be something to win a pawn. F5 seems mostly pointless. I just weaken my F file. Okay, he's on B2. I could snap that off. That bishop. Queen A7, D3 threatens mate. Rook B2, King C1 anyway. Queen D8, King G7. What about Rook takes D4 there, CD. Queen D7, there's a possibility of check and then taking on G4. So I'll kick things off with Queen D8. In fact, I can do this for free. Queen G4 for Queen takes E2 without taking on D4. Right, avoids that. This rook and pawn ending looks reasonable anyway. If I took B7, two pieces there. Alright, give him the rook and pawn ending. Mind you, was that too generous? My king can come to C6. I can tie the rook down. Two connected past pawns. Oh, I just lost one of them. That wasn't very clever. Yeah, maybe I was a bit too generous giving back the queen there. Let's have a look at what the engine thought about that, giving back the queen. I didn't need to. So I was hoping for king g8, because then there's this check winning the rook. So now I had this brilliant idea of playing queen b7. Is that just equal? And still, no, it should be, it's just literally, it says equal. Okay, keeping the queen. I don't think this is such a big deal. Yeah, I don't think I should have given the queen back. In fact, why is the rook coming back here? I could win that with check, right? And then probably win the a7 pawn with check. Or rook takes d4 here. And then take that pawn on d4 with check as well. That's much more favourable. I shouldn't have gone into a rook and pawn ending there. As they say, all rook and pawn endings are drawn. That was very dumb. That's such a powerful quotation. I think someone said it for a laugh, but I think it's got to be it's got to be remembered. All rook and pawn endings are drawn. It's just a great way of throwing away everything to give back the queen. King's Gambit. I'm tempted to play like this. Check. Now, bishop c4 is stronger than taking the rook. Okay, maybe king d1 is good, because bishop e2, bishop g2, bishop f3 though. Okay, maybe king d1. Although I could be running into bishop g4 soon. Yeah. Run up. Bishop h6. Actually, there's knight e4 for knight f6 check. Okay, I can get the queens off. I can take that. Thanks to the game. Right, to the King's Gambit, just quickly. There are lots of good things to play, but not f6. That's not a good idea, I think. But if you did want to play this, I think here just a gambit like this would be best. Actually, let's just check that. I'm not sure I believe that myself now. Yeah, knight c6 is best. And this might be an interesting gambit in its own right. Okay, but otherwise, yeah, there's other things to do there against the King's Gambit. So Friedel. Go with D5. Space gain. Fianchetto King's-Indian transposition. H3. Well, E5 and D6 maybe would have been interesting to have considered. Maybe I played that too quickly. Queen D2 here, or E5 now, or G4 to stop knight H5, maybe G4, unless I'm asking for bishop G4. It might be on the unsound side, so I'm hoping maybe knight G3, G5, F5. Trying to discourage F5 because maybe it takes the knight H5. Also this G file is like dangerous, so I'll activate the rook here for a moment. So there's a few questions. F5, do I lose too much of the E5 square? G5, does it actually do anything? There's H4, H5, which seems a bit slow. There's E5, which seems, actually that might be something, because B4 there's knight E4. On takes there's F5. I think E5 is my favourite. Mind you, I could end up losing the D5 pawn. Then your bishop takes C5 after. So B4, knight E4, queen D5, there's knight F6, knight D5, there's bishop C5. So I'm targeting C5 here. And I'm interested in this from the point of view of not giving the E5 square to a piece. D6 here, knight C6, queen D5 check picks up the knight. So the knight's holding for D6, so knight C6, queen D5. Where does the knight go? Yeah. So knight C6, queen D5 check. Pick up the knight on C6. Oh, thanks for the game, Friedel. Kasparov student. I'll try and play the Nimzo-Indian. I don't know. Maybe C5. So I'm giving up the knight potentially. The bishop for the knight, trying to get some light square play. In fact, the way he's played it, okay, this castle, but I'm wondering bishop and then rook c8. So he's not prompting me for a3 just yet, but it's going to be soon. Right, so I'm hoping to, once you give up a bishop, to look at the other squares, the colour of the light squares. Hopefully the light square play is accelerated now. So I've given up that dark square bishop. I'm hoping my light square play is activated. I mean, tactically, I don't need to look at this tactically, do I? Or do I? Almost d4 looks tempting, almost. Let's just play a simple move. Okay, so knight c3 looks fun. Just hitting e2. I could double the pawns potentially. Okay, he's on g4. I don't want to lose g4 in a hurry. If that knight's... Yeah, I just realised something about queen d4. It's not just a nice looking blockade. It's actually looking at that bishop as well. Let's say rook e1. And there's bishop f5 here, because if it takes, there's knight e2 check. By the same token, knight e4. Maybe bishop f5 is actually strategically interesting to exchange off the light square bishops. So I'm banking on knight e2 check. Getting rid of white's bishop pair, I think, is a good goal sometimes to have. If you've given the opponent the bishop pair. I can't nudge him off, can I? Okay, I'll get rid of that light square bishop anyway. I don't want too many tactical liabilities, so I'm left with that dreaded isolated pawn. Lovely blockade square on d4 for white. Can I use c4 at least? So knight c4 is at least something he's given me. It seems maybe he wanted to play for knight f5. Now that knight's kind of pinned at the moment. Okay, I can do this to keep my structure. I don't think that's queen sack, but yeah. I think that was a mistake. There's no mate in 2 here or something. I believe there isn't a mate in 2 or anything, so okay, thanks for the game, Kasparov students. That is Kasparov's favourite move, queen c2, I believe, against the Nimzo. It was a favourite of Kasparov. Okay. And is one of the main lines. Hi, Miktel. Is Miktel around? I'll start the elephant counting soon. 1 elephant, 2 elephants, 3 elephants, 4 elephants, 5 elephants, 6 elephants, 7 elephants, 8 elephants, 9 elephants, 10 elephants. Okay. Oh, there's someone that looks a bit like chess is playing over there. Oh no, not quite. Okay. All right. Anyway, so MGTOW high there. Okay. Fianchetto. I think d5 here for knight e4. Is that any use? Well, it looks as though I've got an active position here without a bad bishop. No, I suspect he's wanting me to weaken light squares. Do I need to? Can I play knight c3? So if he takes, I play bishop c3. I get 2 pawns and a rook. I think that's an interesting imbalance. I was looking at knight e2 for a moment there, but I've just noticed this other idea of going into this ending. Because it's 2 pawns and a rook. It's a bit of a committal idea, but it is 2 pawns and a rook for the 2 minor pieces. This might actually be okay to do this. He's checking this endgame if it's any good. Well, there's the pain in there actually, because say rook b1, I take, and then I play rook d1. It's a bit awkward as well. It's immediately awkward. So we'll look at that again. B takes, bishop takes, rook b1, bishop takes, knight takes. It's not gone for it. It's trusted me on it. That means I can play knight a4 here, hitting b2 twice. And the pawn bites the dust. Now if I play b5 and weaken the c file, rook c1 is more effective without that knight pegged down. Although b5 is tempting for knight c4, but it's not quite working. Maybe knight c4, just knight c4 in its own without any support. It's fine. Simply just doubling rocks looks fine as well. I think one consideration I had earlier, by the way, I didn't want to weaken my light squares basically, so that combination idea had that going for it. That if I had played for e5 and f5, I felt my light squares were vulnerable. Okay, I don't think it's threatening anything yet. Right, b5 here seems okay. In fact, it looks as though knight b4 hitting a2 is useful potentially. Well, for knight d3 anyway now. Right, b4. I think the knights can hold each other with knight a5 on rook c1. Or knight b2. So any rook move, there's rook d1 check. I can make progress with this pawn actually with b3 it seems. Let's get rid of a pair of rooks to relieve the pressure on b2 just in case. b3, there is bishop e7, so how about e6 instead? Keeping a view on that knight, protecting that knight. So let's imagine b3 coming up. Okay, let's have this ending then. Okay, knight on d3. Try and support b3 soon. The thing is with knight here, there's knight e4 crossing that bridge. I want to disconnect this knight from the queen side first. So f5. And then knight a5 b3. Of course the knight can go like that, e2. Okay, e5 to stop knight d4. And also maybe f4 is useful, or e4. Okay, e4, I've opened up that bishop again. Let's take away this f4 square with a pawn. Ah. Can I just walk my king over here? Now knight g3 does bishop e5, otherwise that pawn's a liability. In fact, yeah. Okay, I'm going to play d2 there. Thanks, McTowell. Thanks. Interesting game. Should we just quickly see what the engine thought of that early knight takes c3? Just out of curiosity. Oh, it actually suggests knight takes c3. That's the move suggestion of the engine. So let's have a look at this position. I mentioned rook b1, but bishop e3 might be. Oh, white's slightly better with bishop. Oh. No, black's slightly better now. It's changed its mind. The idea was just to pick up a rook for 2 pawns. So black is much better, it's saying. Well, okay, it's temperamental though what it's saying. It's saying black's better here anyway. Okay, so maybe it was okay. It was okay. I thought it was interesting. Okay, Mark Zeller. I like Bishop says, Stockfish winning his leader. The reverse. Leela's improving each day. So you can only say that ID of Leela, won or lost, because it's so rapidly improving. The Test 30 network, I've got very high hopes for The graph isn't depressing to follow. It seems to be, they've done a few tweaks to that to make it consistent improvement. I think they've done this averaging tweak, so it always starts at the peak when they do something. Anyway, the graph for me wasn't so depressing on test 30, because test 20 for ages has been doing nothing as far as I can see. I think test 30 could be overtaking it in the next few weeks. I look forward to delightful games of Leela totally destroying every engine going, basically. I hope, anyway. I have high hopes for Leela test 30. What about you guys? Anyone following it here? Look at the networks page for test 30. The rating's going up, the self-elo's going up. I feel like someone said recently on the comments thing, I've learnt chess not to be able to beat other people, but just to appreciate Leela chess games, the beauty of them, to get to a certain level of understanding where I can appreciate Leela chess games. that's almost like a goal in itself. Okay, anyway, enough of that. Can I take if I take the dark square bishop, it's passive. If I take the knight, I'm activating the bishop on this diagonal, so I might as well just take the bishop and then play d3, because I'm under pressure here. Oh, I've just lost the pawn to knight e5. This is nasty now. Mind you, b7. Okay, knight e5, it's looking nasty. That's got a lot of pressure. If I ever take on b7, this c6, just trapping my bishop, surely. That would be a disaster, wouldn't it? Oh no, I'll take the rook. Okay. Okay, let's hold up this pawn then. Now he's offering the rook. I don't like weakening my light squares in the blitz game, so I'm going to avoid that materialism. I want more spiritual values out of this blitz game. Think like a monk or something, rather than materialism. A Buddhist monk. Rook 81. Spiritually controlling d5 instead of my light squares. e4, f4. Has he got knight g4 check? I don't like analysing alpha beta engine games. I'm afraid. If it's not Leela versus an alpha beta engine, I don't like analysing it. It's not my cup of tea. It's too technical. Generally, it's too technical. This is really undermining every pawn chat, and my pawns again are being undermined. I missed a4. What a great move, a4. I missed it. Great. Great, great, great. The timing's all out. Or is it? Am I setting a trap with f4? AB, queen c1, knight c4. Couldn't I play bishop takes and then f5? And then if the bishop moves, queen takes c4. You know what? I'm going to try this as a piece trap idea. AB, queen c1, knight c4, bishop f6, queen f6. f5. Bishop moves, knight, queen takes c4. Oh, there's always b2. Oh, b2 ruins it, doesn't it? Hang on, not necessarily. There's queen h6 as well on the cards here. Just realised there's an idea. The way he's taking it, he didn't need to take with the pawn. Why did he take with the pawn? if he'd taken with the queen, f5, there was b2. Right, now I've got things like queen takes h6 instead of looking to win this knight, because I've got rook f4, rook g4 here instead. Nice little alternative backup plan, rook f4, rook g4. Well, again, there's queen f6, there's queen g7. Why can't I just take it and take on e6? Mind you, I'm more attracted to queen f6 and rook f4 to g4. So if he wants to play queen g7, then I'd take that, I'd sort of get another pawn. So rook f4 to g4. So I just want to play rook f4 to g4. He's got knight e5 though. There's rook d6. Okay. Or there's rook h4 and there's queen g7. Well, I might as well... hang on, he's going to queen a pawn over here. Let's say, imagine queen d6, bishop f5, queen e5, rook d1, rook g4, king h7, rook h4. No. He's going to queen this pawn. I've got to be careful about this pawn. Hold on. Let's just put a break to this pawn. He's moving quick as well. Let's not try and lose this too easily. This pawn on b2 should be a dangerous signal. The knight's holding it up at the moment. I feel I haven't taken this pawn seriously. And he's always got... Can I nudge this guy to be able to play rook g4? Because I'm looking at rook h4 and he's got queen g7. Well, this must be good to be able to play rook g4. I think I am mating. On h8. Thanks for the game. What was that? Yeah, I think I was getting in trouble there. It's awful. The Koro Nakamura picture. Is that on United States Chess Magazine? Probably. Try and cause g6. If I can cause g6, then I can bite on g6 with h4, h5 later. Okay, it's a bit like a French defense structure. So Leela would have a high win rate here in a French defense structure with the king moves, especially. And it looks comfortable enough at the moment. forfeited casting rights. Pressure on d file, pressure on d6. The rook can come up to h3, maybe to g3. There's also a possibility. Well, there's nice possibilities here. Taking on d6 doesn't seem too bad. Oh, there's e5. I see. D takes c, hence his queen. Bishop takes. If he doesn't, do I actually lose a piece there? Instead of trying to calculate that, why don't I just play h5 instead, or something sensible? Alright, so there's a choice between trying to calculate something special, ed e5, etc., or trying to do a positional move. I'll try and do a positional move. Just hold e5 for a moment. Right, that bishop's hemmed in anyway, so I don't need to liberate his pieces for him. Let's just use the rook, not liberate the bishop. Form pawn. The form pawn might hem in pieces even more. I'll be liberating the knight if I take on f6. So let's keep all the pieces hemmed in. Knight g5 looks interesting, and then maybe just get alignment down the d file. So knight g5, double the rooks, but he's got d takes, and then there's no actual entry point, d7 or d8, they're covered. This might require cd. So knight g5 and then cd, then double the rooks. On knight g5 with tempo. Now cd looks good for e6 anyway, because then there's bishop e5 potentially. Now winning a pawn is also attractive. But anyway, rook d3 could actually potentially take, so anytime I play e6 there's knight f6. Let's look at this again. Okay, I'm going to take that. On queen c5 there's knight e6 check, winning the queen on c5. Well, there's no queen c5 anyway here. Okay, I just want to double and then maybe treble queen f3 to d1, Anacon's gone. And then possibly later e6. Or do I just take that off here and then double the rooks? Maybe that's less hassle. There's bishop c4 here. Now I can double. So the knight's still hemmed in. I've got my alignment going. I can probably increase the alignment. Now there's queen h5 check here. And if there, then there's rook d8. If king f8, there's bishop g5. Yeah, that's tricky position indeed, because there's rook d8 and bishop takes f7. Yeah, that's very tricky. Okay, thanks for the game, Soulful. Friedel, didn't we play earlier? I'm going to have to decline. I think we played that. Did we play Friedel earlier? Hang on. I better play someone else for a moment, because I'm a bit worried if I played you earlier. Can someone confirm if I played Friedel earlier? If you can. It just rings a bell. That I don't know if it's that exact nickname. This is Fast and Furious, isn't it? Oh, it's a 3-minute game, that's why. So yeah, Leela Ryan for okay. There's some influence brushing off on, brushing off. There has to be. I hope there's some influence. But I did plan over the ball game, and things didn't work very well recently. I haven't annotated that yet, but it was my fault for not calculating enough, I think. There's one thing to be aware of: themes. But you've also got to really integrate that well in your own play in such a way that it's not double-edged. Okay. So knight h7, and maybe h4 to try and weaken the dark squares is a classic recipe. And I've just weakened my f5 square, and also d6 looks vulnerable. You know, maybe this isn't a good idea. Basically, d6 is dropping off. It is true I've locked down the dark squares though, and at least d5 is covered for the moment. Well, so I thought it was. Blimey, what? Okay, I think I should snap off this knight. This knight's too strong there. Can I just double on d5? Because I've got the knight pressurizing d5. So what if I just doubled on d5? There's bishop d4 here for knight e2. Alright, yeah. I was in trouble, technically, but it's a 3-minute game. It seems very much more turbulent. I'll get to Friedel if I can. No. I can finish off the queue for the rematch. For people who haven't played before, that's a mouse step, I believe. We have an advanced French defence with the white pawns being more stable than usual without the c pawn on c5. This is another kind of interesting position. Am I moving too quickly? I feel I'm moving too quickly now. Black is not without resources. Okay, so queen f4, knight f for bishop. Yeah, black is not without resources. So knight f5 for bishop h6. Maybe I should just snap that off. Just thinking about this kind of position here. If I can get a knight to f4, there's knight d4, not yet. I can stop casting queenside with this. I want to play knight e3 to g2 to f4. This would also let me castle. Oh, casting queenside seems a bit risky. Can I play rook b1? There's queen d3. Is this the point where I start sacrificing pawns if I play knight e3? I'll start sacrificing pawns. Because his rooks are not connected. Basically. Which means if I get my rooks going, it should be good. Is there knight d4 for knight e2 check? That could be another pawn down the drain. There's bishop f6 if I want to safeguard. Oh, there's f4 coming up. Maybe bishop f4 is better. That also safeguards h4. Oh, it's really getting dangerous now. Wow. Can I double the rooks at least? Bit materialistic. Now, why didn't I think about knight d5 a bit longer? I want to play f4 for a mating there. Oh no, that's not happening either. This really hasn't worked out. Oh, this so badly hasn't worked out. Oh no. It's completely lost position. I could resign here. Just give me a pawn there. Yeah. Okay. Very interesting, yeah. Very, very interesting. I didn't expect that. Alright, I've got to go now, I think. This FIDE Women's Championship has just appeared. Did I just click on something? Okay. Better go. Okay, have a good week. See you next week. Okay. Thanks so much.